is embarrassing. This was absolutely embarrassing from the Fever. And I'm okay with missing shots. But no effort. No effort is like, you just can't. You cannot accept no effort from a team. And the first half, I didn't think the first half they were just missing shots. The Fever were just missing shots. They had weird matchups. Really, really poor coaching performance from Austin Kelly. Like, there's a reason why he's not a head coach. A horrendous coaching performance. And by the way, I said this before the game when I was talking about Stephanie White. When it comes to coaches, where it's like, if you have in a close game, you need your head coach. If you're rolling, not having a head coach can actually help. But if you're playing badly, it couldn't. And it was a horrendous coaching game from Austin Kelly. But at the end of the day, I'm not blaming the coach on the players not trying. Really weird coaching matchups. I thought they started off the game all right. The Valkyries were just worse. And by the way, the Valkyries just suck. The Valkyries legitimately suck. They lost to the Wings. The Wings. They're missing 4 of their 5 best players. The Valkyries suck. Like, Caitlin Clark in the first half. She was playmaking out of her mind. She was shooting terribly. She had 5 points at halftime. She was setting up everything. She was playmaking, and she was doing everything, a little bit of everything, and was a huge positive for the team when they were ahead. And then for some reason in the second half, they just decided to take the ball out of her hands. Like, you have to. If you are the Fever, you win by Caitlin, you lose by Caitlin. This roster is not good enough to win without her dominating. Like, this roster is not good enough to win without Caitlin Clark dominating. You have got to just run with her. You have got to run with it if you're the coach. But at the end of the day, she was garbage. The second half, Caitlin, they took the ball out of Caitlin's hands, so the one positive thing she was doing wasn't working. Like, defensively, I guess, third quarter, she looked okay. She was garbage. Kelsey Mitchell, I don't care that she had 16 points. She was garbage. Aaliyah Boston had the worst half I've ever seen her play in the second half. Like, Letitia Amiher, we made her look like this superstar. She just kept crashing. She just kept making hustle plays over Aaliyah Boston. And that's the one thing with the Valkyries. Player for player, talent-wise, they're the worst. This current Valkyries roster, without Temi, without Julie Van Loo, without Chechi Zandalasini, without Janelle Salone. This is the worst roster in the WNBA. They got killed by the Wings. I know they came back in the game, but they were getting blitzed early by the Wings, and they got blitzed down the stretch. This is a team who we let Tiffany Hayes just ran. She just tried. She did not shoot well. She just tried. Amiher, she tried. Veronica Burton sucked. Carla Lake didn't score in the second half. Mo Billings just tried. She just tried. Damiris Dantas, oh my God. Amber Cox should be fired for cutting Temi to keep Damiris Dantas. What is up? She can't even shoot anymore. She runs like she's in slow motion. And Sid Colson just sucks. Like, this wasn't like, oh, Sid Colson had a bad game. She just sucks. Like, Caitlin had a bad game. Aaliyah had a very bad second half. Really bad second half from Natasha Howard. But again, both of them were really good in the first half. Lexi had an off game. Sophie was fine. But she just sucks. You can't sub Caitlin off the floor because she sucks. You can't put her at the 1 and Caitlin at the 2 because she sucks. She just sucks. But, like, we watched them down the stretch run Caitlin Clark as a shooting guard with Kelsey Mitchell as a point guard for her 4 turnovers to 1 assist. Like, I'm sorry, there is no way. At least give Michaela Timpson a chance. She, like, I would assume she's going to try. Like, Someone said Golden State is full of 6 men. Someone said in my chat, Golden State full of 6 men. Kayla Thornton, 6 man. Steph Talbot was getting DNPs last year. She was getting DNPs last year for the Sparks, who were the worst team in the league. Mo Billings was a hardship player for all of last season. Veronica Burton was like 8th man for the Connecticut Sun. Ami Hare was playing 2 minutes a game and got cut and just got re-signed. Tiffany Hayes, fair enough. Kate Martin was getting DNPs in the playoffs. Chloe Bibby never played a WNBA game in her life and played 25 minutes today. Ariel Powers was basically cut, and Bree Hall is Bree Hall. This is not a team of 6 men. Maybe when they have 4 of the 5 best players there. This is not them. This team sucks. This team sucks, but they try. They try. They try. I don't care. If I'm a Valkyries fan, I love this team because they will always try. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I watched an Indiana Fever team walk the ball up the floor. Walk the ball up the floor. Walk the ball up the floor. And that's the thing. I've said this so many times, and you will hear me saying this so many times. Caitlin Clark, the player, can be stopped. Caitlin Clark, the system, cannot be. Like, the system cannot be stopped. You can stop Caitlin, the player. You can't stop Caitlin, the system. However, the only person that can stop Caitlin, the system, is the coach of the Indiana Fever. And the coaches of the Indiana Fever want to stop Caitlin, the system. Like, you can stop, and then they walk. They just walk the ball up the floor. They choose to do it. If Natalie Nakase was coaching the Indiana Fever would be, instead of 6-6, 9-3. 9-3 even without Caitlin. They'd be 9-3. They didn't get anyone. They brought in free agents to play the opposite the Caitlin Clark system and thought suddenly Caitlin was going to be able to do it all herself. Because as you guys can see here, if Caitlin's not there, the Fever look like the worst team in the WNBA. And if Caitlin's playing badly, and by the way, this is an all-time stinker from Caitlin Clark. This is an all-time stinker from Caitlin Clark. She was garbage. She was garbage, and we hold her to a different standard. We hold her to a different standard. Sometimes players can have 11, 9, and 7, and their fans on 21% shooting, and their fans can hype them up. And their fans can hype them up like they're the best things is sliced bread. But we're not doing that here. We're not doing that here. Caitlin Clark sucked today. She absolutely sucked. She absolutely sucked. And someone said Fever's not a championship team. The Fever are not a top 4 seed. They're just not. We have to be honest. Like, I'm sorry. Like, at the end of the day, we have to be honest. This roster sucks. Like, let's look through the roster. DeWanna Bonner has not been with the team. Nobody knows when she's going to be back. She's not been good when she's played. Their coaches missed multiple games. They don't play a good brand of basketball. They don't play exciting basketball. They are only exciting when Caitlin Clark decides she wants to take over a game by herself. They are not an exciting team. They have one exciting player. Bree Turner, why is she on the roster? What does she do? Damaris Dantas is not very good. They chose her over Temi. Sid Colson sucks. She is the worst player in the entire WNBA that is playing 10 plus minutes a game. The worst player that's playing 10 plus minutes a game. Sophie Cunningham is fine. She's a good bench player. Caitlin Clark, great player, bad game today. Kelsey Mitchell has regressed. She has turned into the Kelsey Mitchell. She's gone back to her natural form, which is the Kelsey Mitchell that does dumb shit 90% of the time she catches the ball. Kelsey Mitchell stopped cutting. She has stopped spotting up. She stopped being an off-the-ball player. She is now an ISO ball. She is now an ISO player again. Kelsey Mitchell has turned back into a losing basketball player this season. She has. Aaliyah Boston has been great this season. Really bad second half today. Unbelievable first half. She's been great this season. I'm not going to get too hard on Aaliyah. Natasha Howard is what she is. She is a post scorer. Does not fit. She is what she is. She's a good player. And Lexi Hull didn't have the greatest game today, but Lexi Hull's been great this year. Lexi Hull's been fantastic this year. I'm not going to fault Lexi Hull. But how many players with a Fever do you think have played up to their potential this season? Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull. That's it. That is it. What we were played to expectations. And there's been two. Maybe Sophie Cunningham. Because the Warner Bonner's been a disappointment. Natasha Howard has probably been... Like, again, I don't want to be too hard on Natasha Howard because she just doesn't fit. Caitlin has regressed. We have to just call a spade a spade. She's regressed. Caitlin went nuclear a lot of times last year. The problem is that because the coach doesn't play the Caitlin Clark system anymore, she has less opportunities when she starts off slow to get hot. When she starts off slow, she has less opportunities to get hot. So now we're looking at a situation where if Caitlin does not start off a game hot, they're going to take the ball out of her hands and she's going to have a bad game. It's happened 3 times already this season. So at the end of the day, she has had more stinkers this season than she had from this time last year to the end of last season. She has had more stinkers this season. And I'm not going to blame injury on this because she's getting the same looks. The problem is that the system is not built around her, so she has less opportunities to catch up. She is a player, she is a volume shooter, she's somebody who needs to get into rhythm, and she's not able to get rhythm. Unless she goes nuclear early, she is going, like someone said, Chen is far from bench warmer in Turkey's second tier. But, Caitlin can't get in the rhythm this year. She can't. We can be honest here. She can't. And this system doesn't work with this team. The system doesn't work with Caitlin Clark. The problem is Caitlin trying to force numbers in this system is not going to win games. I mean this when I say this. Caitlin trying to force numbers in this slow down system is not going to win the team games. They need to make a choice. If they want to play this system, you cut Sid Colson. You have to cut Sydney Colson. You have to bring in Ari McDonald immediately, and you bring Caitlin down to 28 minutes a night. It doesn't work both ways. You cannot force Caitlin Clark into a slowdown system. You cannot force her into this. We saw it a year ago. You can't. Because Caitlin's going to still try to get her numbers. She's going to try to get her numbers. She's going to try it. And that is the problem, is that it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And by the way, I'm putting full blame on Caitlin Clark for this game. But the problem is that the team should not need Caitlin Clark to go nuclear to beat a team of people that were out of the league last year. To beat a team of people, of rookies and people that were out of the league last year. They don't have anyone. They have Kayla Thornton is their best offensive player. Kayla Thornton was like a 6-point per game defender a year ago. They shouldn't need this. They shouldn't need Caitlin Clark to go nuclear. And the problem is now, Caitlin the system doesn't exist anymore, so Caitlin the player has to go nuclear for them to win games. Because back in the day, Caitlin the player might have a bad game, but Caitlin the system might win them a game. But the Caitlin system doesn't exist. They're not going to win a game unless she goes nuclear. How are we not seeing this? The Valkyries suck. The Suns suck. We've lost to both of them.